This is how it usually works, folks. Getting a look behind the scenes here. You can see it is now 7:31. Who's in their seat? Who's in their seat and who's not in their seat? 90% sure we're live. I flipped the light on just in case we accidentally were live.
I think it says we're live.
We are live, and you are in full postseason mode. Look at you, Kyle Hunnicky.
That's right. We're ready to roll.
Look at you.
How do we know if we're actually live? And this thing is pegging out.
Oh, the volume?
Yeah, whenever I talk.
How about now? How's your volume?
I think it might be a little better. There we go. That looks good. That looks good.
All right.
We should have tested that before. You should have been on time.
Yeah. If our audio's bad, mine looks like it's too hot again. If our audio's bad, send me a text message.
It's because we did this cool new flip around here.
No, we didn't. This?
Yeah.
That could be, honestly. Look at this.
Yeah, that's wild.
I was telling Kyle, I was like, this is Al Venz's fault. He asked us when we were at the Belchester Tavern.
Live.
I think we are. Either way, we're on the podcast, but we were at the tavern and Al Venz asked us, he said, which one of you guys is the techie? And I said, oh, no, we don't have one of those. We are not lucky enough for that. So, Al, you should have told us to turn our microphones upside down.
Yeah, I don't know if we're live.
I think we got to be live.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Yeah. You say that every time. You never think we're live, and then you pull up YouTube and we're live.
All right. Well, let's get started then.
We're live, and it's the most wonderful time of the year, Kyle Hunnicky.
It is.
You've got your Caston Manderville shirt. I've got my Albert Lee mustache. We're ready to roll.
What are we just missing? Well, you got your Chatfield underwear on.
I got
the banana hammock.
Yep, my gopher stripes.
You stripe all of them.
I pinstripe my underwear.
Oh, we are starting out great.
Would you say it's Chatfield maroon? It's not brown, right? Chatfield's maroon and white, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is?
Maroon.
It is maroon.
Yeah.
Okay, maroon and white.
Oh,
you've got your volume on there.
My bad. How do I mute that?
My mom just texted us that we're live. Thank you, Mother. Okay, so let's look at what we've got planned for today here, Kyle. So we've got to talk about all the happenings from the Civic Center this weekend, right? Section 1 individuals. You were down there. First wrestling tournament of the year you were at.
Got to start somewhere.
I was there as well. We had a new addition to our team down at the Civic Center, of course. And then once we get through all that, we'll talk about the state wrestling tournament, plenty packed there. And that's what we've got planned for today.
That sounds like a lot.
It does sound like a lot.
We're going to be here all night.
Probably.
All right.
If your wife's lucky, yeah. Less time she has to spend with you.
That's true. That is true.
Our sponsors, we got to thank them for being good to us all year. You're hold on a second here. You're watching on the Culver's cam right now, of course. We've got the Culver's cam up and rolling. Ag Partners, Heman Tree Service, and Lodemeyer's. And I have not yet picked out our athlete of the week and our hard-earned performance of the week. So when we're talking about Civic Center stories, we got to make sure we sneak those in there too.
And I just realized I had a bit that I forgot to run by you when you said that. So we'll just wing it.
On-air production meeting?
Yeah. So, no, I guess what I had to do for the first time today since, I don't know, it's been a long time.
Go to work?
Well, no. I had to go get dog food, and I had to load it myself.
You did not?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Ever since Joe left, I got extra bags the week of his retirement, and I had to load it myself.
Do you think maybe you could just give him a call ahead of time and have him meet you and good you?
Going to get some dog food. Let's go.
Didn't Joe was one of the few officials I did not see this weekend. I think Joe was out at Section 3. I don't know if they were at Redwood or Jackson County Central or somewhere out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's the bit?
No, that's a different bit. That was just a sidebar.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
what did you think of this year's section tournament?
On the individual side?
Just big picture overall, what were your takeaways? Did the Civic Center live up to it?
I wasn't ready for this question. I wasn't ready to talk about Section 1 individuals.
What do you want to talk about?
I would say yes. I think it did. I think there was something for me, right? Those number 2 versus number 3 guys in the state wrestling, number 1 versus number 4. There was something there for me. And then there was something there for guys like you. Number 6 seeds winning brackets, number 2 seeds losing in the opening round. I think everybody should be happy after this weekend.
Yeah, it lived up to it. It was kind of like every year.
Yeah.
Something happens that was a little wild. What was your favorite match?
Oh, that's a good question. I would probably say the 2 I threw out on the Sunday morning grind. I don't remember what the first one was. Oh, I know what they were. Lucas Erickson and Miles Barkley in the Class A semifinal at 114. It was an 18-15 final. That one was fun just because it was a roller coaster throughout. And then the Noah Schaefer, Rex Ashford semifinal at 127 AA.
Were you down there for that one? Did you see it?
The AA one?
Yeah.
I was watching across the arena.
I was too. I want to know, I think there was like 3-ish, well, let's say crowd questionable calls.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the crowd was in it.
Yep.
So I'm curious. I have no idea how close they were, if it was skewed one fan base or the other, but that got people into it. I mean, that got the entire place kind of looking down there to see what was going on. So
I also have a theory that the ZM crowd cheers a little bit louder when there's a KM opponent, and the KM crowd cheers a little bit louder when there's a ZM opponent.
no.
Yeah.
You don't say.
No, I do think so. I do think so. But no, I agree. Those were the ones where like the entire Civic Center was engaged. I don't think we had that in the finals round, did we?
Not that I recall.
Because I mean, I'm thinking like the best, tightest match in the Class A finals was probably Ben Carrier and
Yeah, that one was pretty.
And Kane Larson. But like that's not a heated rivalry. And you know, those guys even, I know Kane sees a lot of those Chatfield guys up at Guerrilla Wrestling, so it's not like there's any bad blood there or anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but like 114, there was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Because Lucas and the Chatfield kid were kind of in
Pearson.
a dogfight until at the end, not at the end, but
He gets launched.
he gets launched for 7, and then all of a sudden all eyes turn to a tight match with KW and St. Charles, and that one was a tight match. So that was kind of like the most, I don't know, into it. Probably 4 fan bases were at one time, or more than 4. But yeah, so down on the single A side, that was kind of wild.
That was loud.
Yeah,
And holy cows, can Miles Barkley wrestle? I mean, he missed like a month and a half or something with a broken hand, but he got in there and he had Lucas Erickson on the ropes and then knocked off Jacobson, who's a returning state place winner. And St. Charles, they get loud when they get the chance.
oh yeah.
Like if some of these youngsters, 7th, 8th, 9th graders coming up through keep wrestling and the team keeps improving, that's going to be a loud Civic Center crowd for years to come.
Yeah, and like on the St. Charles topic, I was going to do this as a trivia question, but they had how many? I'll do it kind of this way. How many guys did they have in the top 4?
Oh, that's a good question. I know. God, I think Crosby Cobes, he either got 5th or 6th. He might have snuck into the 3rd place match. Grayson Muskamo was in there. Brendan Keppel got a true second. Did they have 4 in the top 4?
That is incorrect. 7.
Did they really?
I can double check my math, but it was 7.
Who else would have been in there? Like Cameron Haley or Mueller maybe?
Team results. St. Charles. Here we go. Yeah, you start kind of adding it up. So Cash Mueller got 4th. Miles Barkley got 3rd. Colton Matheson got 3rd.
Oh, yeah. God, I'm sorry, Colton. I shouldn't have forgot.
Cameron
Colton.
Haley got 4th. Jackson Vermilia got 4th.
Yep.
Brandon Keppel got 3rd. Grayson Muskamo got 4th. And there's your 7. 7 guys
And I
in the
believe
top 4. That's impressive.
2 seniors in that group. I believe just 2 seniors in that group.
You know which other team did that outside of Chatfield, obviously?
Who?
What's trivia? You got to guess.
Good you?
Incorrect.
Kenny Monamingo?
Incorrect.
Dover Yoda.
No.
What? Was it Fillmore Central?
It was not. But hey, you're getting through most of them.
Triton?
Your
Grand Meadow?
Screaming Eagles of LARP.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think LARP had 7 as well when I was adding it up. But that's kind of exciting because what that tells me is we got some programs coming. Chatfield obviously had I think 9 qualifiers. I don't know exactly how many, and then they probably had a couple third and fourth, so probably in that 11-ish range. Goodhue had maybe 5-ish. 6. They had 6. I think KW had 5 or 6. And then you got LARP and St. Charles putting together a nice squad. So, like you said, they're going to be young. See how they progress in the offseason. But I think there's going to be some shakeups on the team side next year. Can I predict that already this early? That's a Logan on steroids.
That is a Logan on steroids move.
So, yeah.
Let me say this. You tell me if I'm going too far here. Of any team not named Chatfield in Section 1A, let's take them out of the equation. We'll throw them in their own dish. Did LARP have the best individual section tournament of any team? They
did have some kids come out of nowhere, didn't they?
I mean, Chase.
I should say out of nowhere, but
no, but out of they outperformed their seed,
yeah.
Which that falls under the out of nowhere category. Chase Drazkowski up at heavyweight. Yep. Oh my goodness!
Oh, that was fun.
Chase Drazkowski had a great tournament.
Had to rebound in a true second after his finals. That's hard to do. I mean, we saw a few of that though. I think Bethauser, he won his true second.
He did.
Kane Larson obviously won his. Drazkowski won his. All coming off of the loss in the semis. So, yeah.
And
Zach Plank. That's that. Yep.
Yep. I mean, and then and Evan Rizlov at 127, he was just kind of thrown in there because Owen Lang went up to 133 and he grinded out 4th place.
Yep. So no, I thought that was fun on the single A side, just seeing all of these different. It felt, and I could just be wrong, but it felt like this is a single A and double A specifically, kind of a reset year, a turning over. We graduated a lot of firepower from single A and double A in the last couple of years. And I feel like there's still some left, don't get me wrong, but I feel there is a lot of young blood coming up. A lot of 8th graders, 9th graders. I think in 3 years are going to be like, man, that kid's still around. I didn't have that as much this year, like last year, but I think we're starting to see it a little bit, starting to build.
I'd agree with that, with, of course, the obvious exception being Chatfield.
Correct.
I mean, there's no rebuilding going on there, but like you and I were talking about double A a little bit earlier today, and it's like Aiden Grainer was a number 1 seed, but other than that, Sam Winkles was a 2 seed, Sam Moore was a number 2 seed, but other than that, a lot of these kids that are going to the state tournament out of Section 1 double A are lower seeds, and they're a little bit younger, and it's a kind of a changing of the guard a little bit, it feels like, in double A, especially considering the great class, ZM had last year. And then KM, they only had 3 kids, but they're all state finalist type of wrestlers. So definitely a changing of the guard.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun seeing some new faces. So
yeah. So why do you say I want to do a quick scan here down Class A and make sure we didn't miss any great storylines, but then we can jump into double A, hit some of those other fun storylines as well.
Can I jump? Well, I'm going to just go right to 121. I was telling you this a little bit earlier. I think we are going to look back in 3 to 4 years and be like, Javier Berg was way better than we give him credit for. I think we all kind of just go through the motions. He does his job and we take him for granted. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I agree. It's quiet.
He
works very quietly.
And he goes out there and just walk through the section tournament. Like, did he break a sweat? I don't know. But it's just, he's one of those guys, senior now. We're talking about some of those guys that have been around for a long time. He's a senior. Last year we get to see it. I think we need to appreciate this at the state tournament because he's going to leave a mark on Section 1 when this is all said and done. So, good guy. like it. So that's just one I was sitting there. I'm like, man, underappreciated. If we had an award for the underappreciated wrestler, Javier Berg.
Javier Berg would get it. And when I was trying to guess the wrestler you were thinking of,
it took you like 35 attempts.
It took me a lot of guesses, but one of them was Carson Rowland, who I think, just like that, flies under the radar. Would you say, is Javier Berg in some ways the anti-JV Takes? Like he just does his work. He doesn't ruffle any feathers. He gets the job done. He's prepared.
Yep. Basically.
Kind of seems like he's the anti-JV Takes.
He is. And he's going, where is it, North Dakota State?
North Dakota State, yeah. And I was tweeting this weekend. It was the battle of Section 1 versus Section 1 with NDSU and SDSU because we had Mike Olson. They weren't pulling the red shirt, but they have those 5 or 6 matches, whatever, that you can use. Mike Olson was wrestling for NDSU. Max Peterson actually sat for NDSU, but then we had Brady Berge and
Bennett Berge.
Excuse me, thank you, Bennett. And who's the other one I'm missing for SDSU? Oh, Zach Glazier.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So the final score was something like Section 1 scored 6 and the world scored 27. But in our defense, we were averaging like 2 points per wrestler, and they were averaging like 1.6.
That's true.
Or something like that. So
yeah, good. So no, that was one thing that stuck out. I just like watching him wrestle. He kind of put on a show in the finals. I thought, just like, okay, I'll say it. I'm like, ooh, this could be a good match. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Well, we had watched LeCan just tear up some great competition.
And no offense to LeCan, like he had a great year and is doing well, and he'll probably do good things in the state tournament. I'm like, man, Berg's on another level. So yeah.
No, we watched LeCan. I mean, won a very, very tough semi, right? And we saw him at team sections the weekend before tearing up Lucas Erickson. So
yeah, so that was one thing that stuck out to me, I guess. How about you?
I have a feeling we'll be talking about 121 pounders again later when we get to state tournament brackets. Just kind of scrolling down here. Alden Pearson and Quentin Bethhauser, that was their 3rd or 4th matchup of the year, I believe. It started off Bethhauser had initially teched Alden earlier in the year, and then it got closer and closer, and the last one went to overtime, and this one Alden got the job done, so that was cool to kind of see that trilogy. And there's so many of those that go on in Section 1.
Yeah, and that was a fun match. Those guys got after it, and it's kind of like two bulls just trying to find their place in the ring. Like, there was a few times it was just like they just met, and it's like, who's going to win that position? And yeah, that was a blast. So that was a good one. That was a really good one. I don't know was it streamed? I don't think anything was streamed.
No, but girls was.
Oh, okay.
What's up with that? No, I'm just kidding, Mark.
Go down that road.
No, just kidding.
So, but yeah.
And then
that was a really, really exciting match.
Speaking on trilogies, 189. This would be like a pentuple.
I can't count that high.
I don't know how many times Cole Sass and Zach Plank have wrestled, but Cole Sass got this one 14-7. And I didn't get to catch much of that. Did you get to? I did. I was right
there. That was 14. Huh? It felt closer. I don't know why. Maybe there was some, I can't remember exactly, but I remember watching that one, and that was kind of a back and forth for a while. I want to say it was like, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was like 5-4 going into the 3rd, maybe. Okay. Maybe not. I don't know. I could be. It kind of all blends together at some point.
Well, you're not used to watching this much wrestling, right?
I go from 0 to that, so yeah.
That's a lot.
But, no, that was a really exciting match as well. They were.
Yeah. And
I was not built that way in high school.
To just score points?
Jacked.
Oh, no. Just jacked.
I'm always impressed with these guys that just come on like, my goodness. I was like, 6 foot, 100 pounds. So yeah, can about imagine. So that was good.
I had a Facebook memory. I should show you this picture. I had a Facebook memory pop up today. My senior section tournament was exactly 10 years ago today. And I had a Facebook memory pop up that Tammy Kennedy had taken a picture of me and put it on Facebook. I should show you my hairline. This is pretty comical.
You had a thick mane, as you would say.
Well, yeah, and I even like the way that I wore it was just ridiculous. Just
how long is this going to take you to find? We don't,
Can you move us to AA? If you talk about something from AA.
Are we done on? I mean, we got to give a shout out to the Goodyear guys. They Goodyear went 3 for 4 in the finals with 3 pins.
Sure.
That was kind of fun.
Yep, they did.
Caleb Curdy, Jack, and Hayden. Oh, Grand Meadow, they got one through.
Yeah, Cale Smith.
He had a great semifinal.
That was an awesome semi.
Yeah, no, it was another. Yeah, okay. Once you start kind of going through this, it was pretty fun.
Look at this hairline.
You look like Keaton.
Thick and full.
That's something.
Dude,
that is something.
People used to give me a double check walking down the hallway. The girls would give me a, whoa, who is that guy? Also, sneaky bicep. Look at the bicep vein. See that?
No.
It's there. You just kind of have to squint. Yeah, I lost that match. I got crushed.
All right, you said double A? I'm not in double A. It's going to take me a little bit to get there. So you kick her off.
Double A. Oh, this is off memory. 107 double A.
Well, I'll start out. Okay, the one I kind of got sucked into again was 189. That turned into be quite the bracket. You had the 2 freshmen from Caledonia and ZM.
Ooh, yeah.
That got you really. I'm like, what did you just read?
That was exciting.
Then you had Zingler and Owen Nelson. And Nelson ends up coming out on top in that bracket. And then Zingler wins the true second match to go to the state tournament. So that what's kind of exciting about that. Zingler, he junior?
Zingler is a junior.
Junior.
Yes,
so
yes.
He'll be back. Nelson's a senior, and then 2 freshmen there chomping at the bit. So I don't remember how that was seeded, but I don't believe. No, I think Nelson was like 2 or 3, right?
Nelson was 2, I believe.
2.
Yep.
And Zingler was
1.
1.
Owen Lexfeld was 3.
Okay. So
did you see the semifinal between Tristan Zingler and Cooper Allen?
No, I did not.
1-0.
Really?
It was an absolute barn burner. Yeah, they were 2 big 189 pounders, both underclassmen, and when the final whistle was blown, they were both tied around one of their ankles, each other's ankles, in a scramble, like they're 127 pounders that, were seniors or whatever. So that one was just super fun.
Good. Yeah. It's fun to see the big boys move around a little bit. They can do it. They just choose not to sometimes.
That's right.
So
I have a lot of storylines I want to touch on in double A, so I'm going to be kind of swimming all over the place here. But at 215, Alex Henricks won his first section title, and I've gotten to know Plainview Elgin Millville Wrestling a little bit more intimately this year from working down in Plainview, and Coach Steve Henricks, Alex's dad, apparently very, very stressed during the semis and his finals match. Like, Coach Wingert was there in the corner. Darren Wingert was in the corner with Steve Henricks, and he said it's a good thing that Darren was in the corner because Steve was a little bit at a loss of words. There were a few moments where the lights were a little bit too bright for Dad, but Alex got the job done. He wrestled his butt off. And then Matthew Verhoeven also sneaking through for Waseca. They had a heavyweight get through as well. Ben Hagen, who I've mentioned a couple times in the last week now, is just a super, super cool story, and he got a big pin in his semifinal. So Waseca.
They had another one too. Wasn't like a 52 Slade
Barnett.
Yeah, I just remember the first
wrestling name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep, he broke through at 160, I believe.
What else you got?
That's what I've got up top. I mean, I think in the middle of double A, we kind of know what the story is there, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. One of us should probably talk about it then. So I'm down on the single A side for most of the day.
Yeah.
And I honestly want to say no less than 5 times I heard somebody say, like, so 5 different people say, I really hope that Donlick can get through and LaCrescent can get one to the state tournament. So I don't know why. He must come across as a fun, nice wrestler to watch. And obviously, LaCrescent, it's been a little bit since they've had somebody in the state tournament, but he came through as the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's my kind of guy right there. That's what he brought up. 152 was basically like a bracket built for me.
That was your bracket.
So had some bracket busters early, and then it kind of all shook out in the end. But yeah, congratulations. LaCrescent gets one through, and Henry Donlick.
There are certain people that, like, you only have to talk to them for like 2 minutes, and you can tell that you're like, oh yeah, you're in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like, if you talk to a wrestler or a coach and they have a certain, like, passion and energy when they're talking about their coaching or talking about their program, and you can just feel that. That is Brandon LaRue, La Crescent's head coach. Like, he is second year as head coach, just so invested, so fired up for that program, like telling stories about going into classrooms, trying to get kids out for the team. And then basically what he told me is like, Henry is their guy. Like, he's a fantastic leader, works harder than anybody else, and good things happen to good people who do the right thing. I think Henry, not just the 6th seed in sections, I think he's now the 6th seed at the state tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't looked at that yet, but
yeah, we'll check that out when we get up there. But how do you go from the 6th seed at sections to the 6th seed at the state tournament? That's pretty awesome.
that's what happens when you win a Section 1 bracket.
I mean, some would say Section 1 brackets are tougher.
So, I just did I don't know if this is going to work, but I just did a question and answer on our YouTube thing. So we'll see. I said, what was your favorite Civic Center moments? We'll see if anybody else chimes in. I have no idea if this is going to work. I've never done it before. So,
Are those answers public, or do they come directly?
I think they come to
us?
us.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna submit one here. We can keep moving downwards in Double A. The next bracket I would want to peek at is 127. We already mentioned Noah Schaefer and his big semifinal win, but also his finals win was really impressive too, because Link told me just Noah is such a smart wrestler. He has a game plan. He executes it. He did that, and he put Adam Parrish in a cradle twice and put him on his back. So he's just winning matches in different ways. And one of my favorite parts of that one was watching in the background as I'm like sitting mat side and I'm watching Noah Schaefer and Adam Parrish go at it. Carson Raymond is wrestling Rex Ashford in the background, and like there's nothing happening. And like as I watch the film back, I can see Wingert and Steve Henricks, they're looking over at this match, because they're getting ready for the true second or whatever it may be. And then they were both looking at the championship mat, and they look back, and Raymond has put Ashford on his back, and he's pinning him, and all of a sudden they're out of their seats screaming, and he gets the pin or whatever, and then they come over and watch the 127 final finish up. So that was pretty cool.
So there was a comment here in the chat that no third place, so the person in the third place spot ended up coming back and winning.
Yeah, that was on the Al and Josh podcast. I just finished listening to that. They were talking about that.
So that's true. Well, so far it's true. We haven't proved it otherwise. So, the other one. So Braxton Lang, he took a year off from the state tournament last year, right? And now he's back, if I remember correctly.
He might have. Yeah, he took a year or two off.
Two off. So congratulations to him. He lost Aiden Frederick in the finals, but nice job there. So good to see Caledonia get a few guys through. Excuse me. Kyron Ganson of Pine Island, the 8th grader, punched his ticket.
Yep.
So he's going in as a 30-4 8th grader. I didn't see him wrestle, so I don't know.
He's legit. He's it's nuts. I think he's going to be the youngest or one of the youngest in his state bracket too, and he's going to be just fine.
Yep. ZM did what they thought, or what we thought they would down low with Murray and Moore. So Murray got second, Moore got first. Aiden Burns of Caledonia behind that, and Owen Parrish in the finals. So
one Bayer
107.
Bayer getting through was big for ZM too.
Was Bayer one too that had a year off in his back, or was he there last year?
He was there last year, I believe.
Okay.
Him and Ashford were down at
Yep.
107. Don't ask me why I remember that. Hey, I just sent a question through the chat line. Can you see if it went through?
Is Logan still single? It wasn't a question, though. It's what was your favorite Civic Center moment? I suppose you've already talked about it.
Oh, well, the YouTube algorithm said ask a question.
Oh, did it? Okay. So.
Okay, well, I'm flattered. Thank you for asking. All right, AAA, Kyle. You okay with moving up to AAA here?
Yep.
Okay. And for those of you hanging out here waiting for state tournament talk, those of you from Totino Grace waiting for us to talk about your 145-pounder, we will get there, but we're rounding out Section 1. And let's start down low here and move upwards. I mentioned this bracket on the Sunday morning ride, but Logan Davis looks awesome. And then there's a really fun true second between Charlie Johnson in Northfield and Dana Nelson of Rochester, John Marshall. Nelson is a 7th grader, but he got out to a big lead, and then Charlie Johnson fights back, gets the pin. I think it was an arm bar. You're an armbar guy, right, Kyle? You were an armbar guy?
I'm more of a headlock guy. You know, I was talking to a guy that coaches. He lives south of Belchester a little bit. We came to the most
South or west?
southwest-ish,
Okay.
give or take.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we agree.
Oh, yeah, it is south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know where the sun is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
we agree headlocks need to come back. Like, we need more headlocks, especially now with this 7-point wonderful move you can get from feet to back. Let's see some more headlocks. But anyways,
Should the headlocks be worth 9?
wow, at least. But you should be able to text. If you throw a nice headlock and you can hold them there for 5 seconds, that should be a tech. Just should be over. So, yeah, continue.
Takedowns
Triple A.
Takedowns worth 10?
This is why people think I don't care about AAA, is I always go on these tangents whenever you start talking about AAA.
Can I say something just really honest and try not to be disrespectful about it? AAA did not have me this year. Like, there have been years past where,
Didn't
like,
captivate you?
no, there's been years past where, like, I was dialed in on AAA, but, like, some of these top guys in AAA, like Logan Davis moved right through his bracket. Calder moved right through his bracket. Like, a lot of these, felt like there was separation between the top guys and then the next batch. The young guys, I guess. Like Keith Harner in his championship, he gets a pin in 59 seconds in his section final. So there was a lot of that. I guess the two finals that were super exciting would have been Brody Ignashevsky versus Caden Staub at 145. That series continuing, and then same thing up at 160 with Nick Corman and Zane Engels. Which we'll get into this with their state bracket, but they're looking like they're probably going to wrestle again on Friday if they both take care of business in the opening round.
Would that be the third or fourth time?
Fourth time this year. And there was one where they would have wrestled, but there was an injury default involved too, I believe.
I got a question, and I know there's no way you know the answer to this, so we'll have to put this out to the masses. Maybe this could be our trivia. We'll do this as a trivia question. It'll be kind of a two-parter. When's the last time Century had a state qualifier? Period. Question 1.
Century?
Yeah.
Oh,
Then when is the last time they had 2? Because they have 2 this year.
yeah.
I don't know that. I have no idea, but
I know there's a guy listening back on the podcast who might have the answer.
so there we go. We got to give something away for that because that's going to take some digging.
Can I tell a... So we get down to the Civic Center on Saturday morning. AAA wasn't there on Friday. And there's a scooter on the floor of the Mayo Civic Center. I'm like, what the heck, a scooter? One of the Century coaches, actually I think the Century head coach, Joel Messick, was scooting around because he had a wrestling-related injury the first week of the postseason. He has a gnarly plate and a bunch of screws in his ankle from a wrestling-related thing. So next time you think you're ready to hop into practice and roll around, think twice about it.
And then the other thing too, like when you get late in the season like this, a week to go, like body preservation has got to be on the utmost. Your kids are prepared at this point. Shut her down. Yeah. Use every coaching trick in the book. Like, hey, I got to do some scouting or something. Come on. You do not want to take that injury into the off season.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, Coach Messick deserves a lot of props though, because he could have gone the wheelchair route, right? He could have been in there in the wheelchair, but instead he went scooter, one-leg scooter, which is just that's grit. That's a Civic Center effort.
Good. So
when we're talking about best Civic Center performances, I think that has to be mentioned. The tightest final, I think, in AAA had to have been Carter Funk and Owen Murphy. That was a 5-4 final. Carter Funk got the win. I actually didn't get to see that one, unfortunately, but I think worth mentioning there that was a close one. Otherwise, there were tech falls. There were a few pins mixed in and a couple decisions in the finals for AAA.
Good. All right.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving, Kyle. Do we want to...
We got some comments here. Favorite moment. Jack Carlson tossed his opponent. I did have somebody tell me that was the biggest toss they've seen in years. Another comment, time for even thirds. I think that refers to splitting all
Yeah, do you want
Class
to touch on
A.
that? Because that's a topic that can't be avoided this time of year. It's going to come up every single postseason, and you actually articulate it very well. It's one of the things that you're good at.
I don't know when I've ever said this to you. So right now it's basically you take the top 64 largest schools with anybody that opts up. So for example, if a school opts up, they're going to cap it at 64. The 64th smallest then would drop down into double A. Double A is 96 teams. And then single A has the rest, which I believe is like in the 70s, 71-ish, somewhere give or take in there.
Okay.
So that's currently how it's made up. So that's why you see smaller brackets in AAA, because if a roster isn't full, obviously the max they can have is 8, and you'll see the larger brackets in AA at the section tournament. So
do me a favor. Put your Minnesota State High School League hat on and justify less schools being up in AAA. What's the justification for that?
I don't actually know 100%. I'm assuming there's probably some sort of algorithm where there's a enrollment disparity around that 64 range, but I don't know that for sure. You see it in football. I mean, I think it's 32, and then they start working their way back. You know, there must be something there that.
So like if there's a big chunk of teams up here that have an enrollment around this size, like you think that there's math and numbers behind it. They gather all of the enrollments and then use numbers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that's how it was set when they did this years ago. But I mean, now we've had so many more co-ops and stuff. So I think like single A is shrinking a little bit. So there's really getting a bigger gap between double A and then everybody else.
Should it be like that? You've taken some really hot stances lately. You're already in hot water with the state high school league. Will you just say what everybody's thinking? Will you comment on the 1/3s?
Third, I mean, it seems logical, right? Just to say, okay, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. But then there's just other factors. How do you deal with co-ops that pop up after the section realignment? How do you deal with co-ops dissolving? How do you deal with opt-ups? You know, is it every year then you're going to be adjusting based on co-ops and opt-ups and all that kind of stuff? Or do you need to set a harder deadline on when that needs to happen?
So it creates new problems? Is that what you're saying? It creates new problems. But that's okay. Would we?
Sure. Well, I mean, if we want to talk about creating new problems, we might as well talk seeding of the state tournament too.
For those who are interested in hearing more about seeding, I would go listen to Alan Josh's podcast.
So in the short version, I would say sure. If you wanted to go third, a third, a third, I can see that logic. It makes sense, right? But what are the unintended consequences? And I don't know. We don't know those answers. Those are the parts of it that'll get debated.
Especially where it's an individual competition, right? Like I can see it for football, why you do 32 teams in the top class and then split the remaining or whatever it is. But it's different in an individual sport. Would you agree?
Well, there's still team wrestling.
Yep. And so for team wrestling, then maybe you still stick with 3 classes. Or excuse me.
You want me to like reinvent the whole thing right now? Like this is we could definitely
don't let me take us there.
Because let's do that. We will have an episode where if we started the wrestling, I guess, organization over, how would we, Logan and Kyle, how would we design it? That would actually be kind of fun. So.
This is good. I'm in the chat now. I've never been in the chat here before, but I can quietly ask questions while we discuss. So apparently some sports do even thirds. Not all sports have that. Girls tennis.
Yeah, let's not go down this rabbit hole today because we'll get. Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
There's a lot of stuff we can focus on in the moment. Maybe this is a good postseason one.
We're only 40 minutes into this episode. Al and Josh would have like 3 hours left. So
true. So, all right, state tournament.
All right, let's choose.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah, state tournament. Do you want to? Let's briefly talk about team, and then I'm not gonna make predictions, Kyle. But there are certain directions that I'm starting to lean.
Do we want to do our athlete of the week based on what we saw this weekend?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's also do our hard-earned performance. Thank you, Lodemeyers, for the hard-earned performance. Thank you, Culvers, for the athlete of the week.
It's late in the year. This was my thing I was going to talk to you about. Can we do one for each section? Or sorry, each class. Athlete of the week, AAA, athlete of the week, AA, single A.
Let me talk to the JV Takes board on that one.
Because according to Witchy, you're not giving out any of these gift certificates, so we have some stuff we got to get rid of. So
you are the worst. You have no idea how many hats I've given out.
So my. Do you want me to go first?
Which reminds me, some of you guys that have been given hats, I expect you to be wearing those at the X.
No, you don't have to.
No, you do. You do.
So let's do that. Single A, AA, AAA.
Yeah. Do you want to start with one of those? Do you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Javier Berg at 121.
Okay. All right. Good pick.
Walks through. We just don't. Yeah, we don't recognize him enough. So Javier Berg, athlete of the week, Class A.
Okay. Then I guess I will go. I already got Henry Donalick on the Sunday morning ride as my Sunday morning ride.
I'll do AA too. We'll go Henry Donalick.
No, I already picked him on the Sunday morning ride. You got to pick somebody else.
You can double up when you basically carry a program on your back.
No, we're not doubling up. More awards.
Nobody listens to that show anyway, so we got to award it.
No, we're not getting. No, we can't give it to him twice.
All right. Okay. Who you going then in AA?
I vote Noah Schaefer.
Oh, he did have a nice tournament.
He had a great tournament. I would say that's the best I've ever seen him wrestle. I feel like he needs a JB Takes hat.
All right.
AAA, Kyle?
I'm going. Do I get AAA?
You can take
kind of a AAA guy.
You're a big AAA guy.
And I'm doing 2. Are you writing these down?
No. We can listen back.
Okay, don't forget this.
Or Witchy. Hey, when we're done with this, Witchy, send me a text, please. he got himself a job and he didn't even know it was coming.
I'm going with Lane Royston, Rochester Century.
Okay.
And I'm also going with, wait for it, Nade Ellingson, Rochester Century.
All right.
So congratulations to the 2 Century guys.
And head coach Joel Messick. Can we get him something too?
Hard-earned. There you go. These are AAA hard-earned.
Congratulations.
Performer of the week.
Hard-earned performance right there.
All right. AA and single A. Hard-earned performer.
Oh, that's
sponsored
by
Loda Myers.
I don't have
Donalick.
Sure.
Actually, yeah, we could do that.
I was thinking more like somebody who came through the backside, had to grind back and get a true second, that type of guy.
Yeah, we could do. Well, nobody won a true second.
Oh, did you hear my neck crack?
Zingler got tested.
Zingler did get tested. Yeah.
That was let's do Zingler.
Let's give it to him.
Yep.
He did have to grind that out.
Had a semifinal tight one. Took an L in the finals, but then was able to pull off his true second. So, got Zingler for AA.
Okay.
And Class A.
This is you. You got the awards this week, which means you're also handing out the hats and shirts.
No, we're doing those gift certificates because now it's postseason and they can start eating.
Oh, yeah, Culver's.
Yeah.
Mail out the Culver's gift certificates.
That's a good one. Single A. I don't have it up in front of me. Somebody's going to.
I'm just trying to rack my brain here. I mean, like, Chase Drazkowski, Ben Carrier went into deep waters.
No, this one's going to be a little off. I'm going to go Miles Barclay.
I thought about that.
He had a battle early, didn't come out on the right side of it, came back, and ended up getting third and had a battle in the third place match. So
he did.
There was no give up in that one.
And he had just came back from injury a couple weeks ago. God, you're good at this.
There we go.
When you put your mind to something.
See, just got to, it's in there. I just got to find it sometimes. So
you just got to stroke it a little bit.
So are you going to, you're going to write those down, right?
Wow. Yeah, chat is absolutely full right now. No, Witchy's going to text me. Witchy, send us a text message, please, with all of those in there.
Oh, yeah, gosh. Good thing I didn't look at this before, because they make some good cases in here. Logan Pearson, definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Good suggestion.
We
there.
did. We
Cole
did.
Raymaker. That's a good suggestion too.
Yeah. All right. We don't get much from the chat. We'll go Pearson and Raymaker as well. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff to give away.
We do.
So
we're gonna get you guys some Culver's gear. Witchy, add those to the text message too. Pearson and Raymaker.
That's good. Yep. All right. Good. We better move topics or we're going to have like 40 giveaways here. So,
Yeah, we better.
but I think that just shows there was a lot of fun storylines there. And kind of depending on which team or program you're following, I suppose you kind of lean a little one way or the other. So, but a lot of fun.
Speaking of leaning one way or the another,
Are you going politics?
should I? I thought about it. Should I tell people which way I'm leaning in the team race? Because we haven't talked about team seeds, you and I together. Alan, Josh, and us, we kind of speculated on seeds.
We did have a true second winner from third. See, we got another winner. We got to figure out who it is, though. It's a 215 AA. Had a third place comeback in for true second.
Verhoeven. Matthew Verhoeven of Waseca.
Yeah, because he lost his semifinal.
Yes.
There we go. Well, all right.
We'll hook him up.
There we go. Richie, get that notebook going. It's fine. It's nice that we
got... another one. This is a great suggestion. Thank you for this one. Justin Bergman of Wabasha Kellogg came all the way back. He lost his opening round matchup. And I'll be honest, I was standing down there on the floor taking some pictures, and Coach Colleen was standing there, and I stood next to him for a second, and I was like, oh, crap. You guys still have a kid rolling. And Justin Bergman came all the way back to get a true second.
Agreed. And he beat the kid that beat him the first round.
Yes.
So you keep talking. I got to find a pen. We're going to write these down. I don't really want to have to listen back to all this.
So that we're going to listen back. It's a short audio. Who was the Witchy is actually trying to write these down. So we had Javier Berg, you said, right?
Yeah.
Javier Berg, Miles Barkley. In AA, we had Noah Schaefer.
No, and then we also had Pearson and Raymaker.
Pearson, Raymaker. In AAA, we had the 2 Century boys in AAA. We had Joel Messick as well in AAA.
I'll write them down.
All right, we're going to have to listen back to this.
We will. But Logan will get you your stuff, whether it's, it's going to have to be this weekend.
We might have to mail some of it.
Might have to mail some, so yeah.
Well, I can't carry, I'm not Santa Claus. I can't carry around a
if
big
you hear
bag
your name
of crap
or
at the
it gets back to you, email us your address so we can just mail it. That's way easier than trying to find you, too.
That would be good, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, where were you?
I was ready to go to Team State.
Team State, yes, let's do that.
Can you pull up those brackets? Forget about writing them down. We'll go back and listen.
You're going back and listen. Okay, I'm up. What do you want?
Put it on the screen. Put the Class A bracket on the screen. Which he says he's not writing these down. You're a crappy secretary. You're fired.
It's aggressive. Hey, we're up. Look at that.
So, should we make predictions?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'll tell you which direction I'm leaning.
Me too. I'll just go right away. UNC in the finals versus Chatfield.
Okay.
Upset of the tournament.
Who wins?
Right off the bat.
Who wins in the finals?
Chatfield by 1.
Is it a backdoor one? Like they're up 7 and then they get pinned at heavyweight? Or is it like they're
I think
down
it's a crowd
5?
Crowd unsportsmanlike from UNC.
A crowd unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, they get rowdy up there. So
the beat farmers, they can get testy. All right, I'm gonna say, God, this is a good question. My prediction's not gonna be as exciting yours. I'm leaning Lake Crystal for third. I'm leaning in that direction, and I'm leaning.
So you got Lake Crystal and Canby first round. You're obviously then going to take Lake Crystal over Canby.
Yep, I'm leaning Lake Crystal. And then I'm leaning Chatfield in the opening round over West Central area. I am leaning Staples Motley. And God, would it be gutsy of me to say LeSueur Henderson? Would that be gutsy?
Sure. Hold on, I gotta get this back. There we go.
I am leaning Jackson County Central. And then I'm leaning Staples to make the finals, and I'm leaning Chatfield. And I'm going to lean Chatfield by a hair.
Why do you lean? Why don't you just call it? Say, this is what I got.
Well, I'm relying.
I called mine.
No. It's intuition. You got to have a
goodness.
feel. I don't think you understand it. It's about the feel.
Okay.
And the big breaking news, Kyle, as we go through each of these, I'm going to tell you who the broadcasters are for your single A Double A, and Triple A. So I'm breaking news here. I don't actually know if I'm.
Nobody cares.
To be honest, I don't think I'm legally allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Class A finals. The great Jerry Cleveland loves Staples. Nobody loves Staples more than Jerry. He's going to be on the mic.
With who?
Phil Corbet, I believe.
He better be a Chatfield guy.
Or Corbett. Which beckons the question. Would you rather have two objective announcers, or would you rather have one very pro Chatfield and very pro Staples announcer?
I want homers on both sides and duke it out.
I'm with you.
As long as they don't lose sight of the match.
No, that's okay.
No. Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Don't lose sight of the match. That's all I have to say.
The homer, are you okay with the homer announcer that's like coaching the kid on the broadcast where he's like, oh, turn off your back, it's your elbow?
I just want some announcers to just remember that it's about the kids and not them. Logan.
Why did you look at me? Why did you look at me?
Are we going to Double A?
We're on to Double A.
All right. Casa Manorville, I got them in the finals versus Watertown Mayor.
How many?
KM, probably 78 to -1. That's what I got. Okay. And what's your prediction?
I am leaning.
A lot of team points are going out this week.
I am leaning towards KM winning in the opening round. I'm leaning towards Watertown winning in the opening round.
So you got KM and Perham. Sorry.
Yep.
And then you got Watertown Mayor and Totino Grace.
Yes. I'm leaning Watertown. What's the next matchup?
Marshall Tigers against Becker. Why is Marshall the only one that says Marshall Tigers? Everyone else is just...
It's a good question.
Anyways, Marshall and Becker.
Maybe there's another Marshall.
Marshall and Becker.
Sarah Marshall.
Oh, make your prediction.
Who's the higher?
This is why people have to listen to us on 5-speed.
Who's the higher seed?
Okay, Becker.
I'm leaning Becker.
And then we've got Simley versus Grand Rapids.
I'm leaning Simley.
I want to just rewind quick to Class A. There's going to be some exciting first rounds, I think, Class A. Some of those matchups are going to be really tight, specifically 6, 3, 4, 5. Those I think are going to be fun. And then I think that final round, your third and fourth and your first and second. We've got some makings for some real barn burners there. So
in Class A?
Class A specifically.
So we're actually giving serious analysis now?
I did.
I'll do some of that
takes
as well.
you.
I'll do some serious analysis as well. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm there with you in Class A. I just think that there's tiers, right? There's Chatfield and Staples, and then, whatever Holdingford, if you want to throw them into that. But they're not at the X, unfortunately. But you know what I mean? Like, there's clear tiers in Class A. It's going to be fun to see Chatfield and Staples if it happens. It's going to be fun to see that next tiers of teams duke it out. And then in Double A, it's just like, it's not tiers. There's a whole completely, not exactly level playing field, but it's more like Watertown's a step ahead of KM, who's maybe a step ahead of Simley. But like, these are small steps. I would say it's pretty blurry in Double A, which makes Double A fun. I had someone text me the other day and they said Triple A boring. Do you agree? Because I know you're a Triple A guy.
It's all relative. Depends. Are you only looking at the finals, or are you looking at it as a whole?
As a whole.
I think as a whole, there's going to be a lot of... There could be some really good matches. No, I mean, I think there's a clear number one in Triple A. I think that's fair to say. You can quote me on that, everybody that disagrees. But outside of that, no, I mean, Bemidji, Albert Lee, Hastings, all of these after, I would actually like somebody to predict how this is going to go. I think it's a little tricky.
I can't predict, but I can tell you where I'm leaning.
So yeah, you got Elk River and Shakopee to start.
Before you get into that, I want to add one more point. I agree with you. And also I would say, we need to remember, we are not that far away from last regular season, Stillwater beating STMA, right? When they got together with KM for a try. Nobody thought that was going to happen. And we're also not that far away from Hastings beating STMA in the state finals and pulling off that upset. So it's like, yeah, STMA is by far a heavy, heavy favorite, but I'm going to let you say it. What's the say? Is there one?
Is there a path?
Is there one?
I don't know.
I think there has to be.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's high school wrestling. There has to be a path. Ellsmore Plumbing asks, Logan didn't say who
he
is
doesn't
winning
ever
the
say
double
who
A
he's picking.
title.
He just pretends to say it.
I'll say I'll lean Watertown. I'll lean Watertown.
Weird. Shocker.
You're picking up on the.
Yeah.
All right, AAA.
AAA.
You want to know where I'm leaning?
Well, we got Elk River and Shakopee, Prior Lake Stillwater, Hastings St. Michael, Bemidji, Albert Lee.
Logan's lean. Here we go. Logan's lean. I'm leaning towards STMA, leaning towards Shakopee.
No, we didn't, Witchy. Pay attention.
I'm leaning Stillwater, and I'm leaning Albert Lee
All right.
in the opening round.
Good.
I'm leaning STMA to make the finals, and I'm also leaning Shakopee. And I'm leaning... No, maybe I'm not really... Yeah, I am. I'm kind of leaning...
All right.
I'm kind of leaning STMA in the finals.
So, if you need your souvenir program, which they no longer sell anymore, because why? Sure, it's budgets. Makes sense, right? Here you go. Here's your schedule. So, A and AAA are going to start out at 9, and you can look it up after that. But 1 o'clock, you got AA, kicks it off. 7 o'clock, finals. Go from there. So
That's going to be fun. It's going to be a good day. Right?
I just hope I make it. Haven't made this. Last year, I was literally watching it on the couch all year. It was terrible. So, all right.
I feel bad if there's any KM people watching this, but I'm going to ruin their night when I say that Brian Wichman is doing their opening round match. They have the ZM Cougars.
The ZM Homer.
The ZM Cougars play-by-play guy is doing your opening round match. I'm sorry, KM fans.
He'll be like, oh, ZM would have won that match.
You guys deserve better.
All right.
Let's, what do you say we move on and talk about some individual brackets? We're already almost an hour into this, so we don't need to take too much time, but we can pick 3 or 4 brackets each. People, you're more than welcome to suggest a bracket we talk about in the chat. I can't guarantee we're going to trust you and we're going to pick that bracket, but you're more than welcome to make suggestions in the chat. We've got girls, we've got single A, we've got double A and triple A, Kyle. Spin the wheel. What do you want here?
I'm going to go, and I'm going to let people know that I may not have the depth of girls wrestling knowledge that others do, but I'm going to start with a girls bracket because
you could have just stopped after knowledge.
The one that I'm curious, and I might say some really dumb stuff here, but 190, you got Ella Pagel as a 2 seed. Isn't she nationally ranked?
I believe she is. I've heard that. I haven't looked at the national rankings.
And then we got Jasmine, looks like Downer.
Yes.
Is it Monticello? Is that
Monticello?
Monticello?
Yes.
25-0. Ella Pagel, 12-0. Ella was out last year, I think, with an injury. This year she's back. This is one that I'm curious. Maybe get a little education in girls wrestling. But, this is my match probably that I'm going to circle on the girls' side.
I like that, especially after, Ella, limited matches this year, right? She wrestled 10, 11, 12 matches, something like that, and missed a little bit of time throughout the season. Maybe that was just maintenance to stay healthy or whatever, but I saw her at the section tournament, and that was a dialed-in wrestler. Good pick, Kyle, for somebody who doesn't know girls wrestling very well. I'm going to start on the other end of the spectrum. Let's go all the way down to... Al and Josh already talked about this one, but I'm going to snipe it from a 112. 112 girls. We've got number 1 seeded Ella Henning, the reigning state champion from, I believe it's, what is WHAN? Walker, Hack.
I don't know.
Hackensack, Ankle, Nevis, Akeley, Nevis, or something maybe. She's returning state champion. Wrestled Hayden Hawkins down in Pine Island. That was a barn burner of a match. Me and Gorilla Wrestling Club were shaking in our shorts watching that one. 5-4 final. Hayden Hawkins pulls it out. We could see that one again in the semis. And then on the other side of the bracket, you've got Maggie Olson, who wrestled Ella Henning last year in the state championship. And Ella Henning got the better of that one. And also Bernie Rock, who was a state finalist last year, who very easily, no, I shouldn't say easily, but she could have been a state champ, right? Because she beat Lauren Ellsmore in the section finals, then lost to her in the state finals. So you've got one state title to give out, and you've got 4 wrestlers that deserve it. Or even more wrestlers that deserve it.
Yeah. I forgot about something that I like about the section tournament. I don't know if I told you I did this. So you start running into people, right, that you've seen over the years and blah, blah, blah from different schools. Sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit here. You should just...
You're like me now. You spent too much time with me.
I just started asking, like, hey, what's this guy up to? Hey, what's this guy? You know, guys that used to wrestle or you used to see. It's really fun to see where some people are spread out, like all over the U.S., like hearing what they're doing now. So, yeah, if you ever need some entertainment and you're talking to somebody from a different school, just pick some random person that you think they might know, and then there you go. So,
can you give me an example? Sam Stoll, playing cards for a living?
He's out in Montana. So
you found that out this weekend?
No, I knew that, but yeah. So yeah, and then no, there was a guy out in Colorado on a ranch. Just all kinds of cool stuff. So
okay,
but yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's fun.
All righty. Okay. What are we going to now?
Let's. I'll keep it down low here. We got a suggestion from Jill. She says 106 girls. That's a good suggestion. We've got a couple very, very talented wrestlers in here. I'm going to mispronounce this one. Jill told me how to pronounce it before, but I believe it's Azalea Callall from New Prague, the 8th grader. I saw her for the first time at the Section 1 and 2 team tournament. She's been incredibly dominant the whole year. She made quick work of a very, very talented Isabel Townley in the section final. And then also in there, it's going to be Mariah Raymer of Mille Lacs. That's a great wrestling name right there, who was a state entrant last year. And then a couple state place winners. Ava Schultz, the great wrestling name from STMA, got 4th at state last year. Nex Guyan, I believe that's how it's pronounced, from Fridley, also tucked in there as well. 106 girls. That should be fun. And then for those of you that are listening that are outstate, that are not our Section 1 fans, just keep an eye on Adriana Coons at 100 here for Troyton, the 7th grader. She's been a stud all year long and just knocked off number 1 ranked Emery Suckup in the Section 1 and 2 finals. I think that was a tech or a pin. So, I mean, we'll see how her career shakes out. But a 7th grader with a real shot at winning a state title early on.
Good. We going double A, triple A, or single A?
Up to you. Actually, let's see what the people in the chat said.
Because I got, well, let's go triple A. Because I'm already on mine.
Okay.
This has a little Section 1 flair, a little rematch flair, a little of everything here. But I want to see 152 triple A, Brad Little, Calder Sheehan, the 1 and 2 seed in this bracket. A Carlson from Wilmer. It's got to be a stud if your last name's Carlson and you live in Wilmer.
Yeah.
Loves milk, I've heard. So, hey, saddle up. Here we go.
Whole milk? Better be whole milk.
Better be whole milk. I think that's the only milk, right? Yeah. So 152 AAA. Obviously, I'm pulling for Section 1, and then I'd like to see a little rematch with Brad Little there in the finals. So
another fun storyline.
A guy that's been around for, I think, 3 decades. Brad Little?
He's not so little, though, if you see him now.
No.
Here's another fun storyline. Conlon Carlson and Calder Sheehan met up in the finals of the Christmas tournament. When Calder had gotten dinged up early in the week, and it wasn't for sure if he was going to wrestle. He wrestled, he won the Christmas tournament, and he beat Conlon Carlson on a last-second takedown. I think Alex Vandenhouten, shout out to Alex Vandenhouten, slapped a video up on Twitter. Sweet takedown, edge of the mat, buzzer beater. So, we could potentially see that in the semifinals and then a rematch in the finals between Brad Little and Calder Sheehan, and that one also came down to the wire in the third period. Elite Wrestling Analysis, you brought your A game.
Randomly.
You're in postseason
When I'm
shape.
not going to wrestling, I sit in my phone and try to just do some research, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
So,
Look at you go.
all right, what's yours?
I haven't got this bracket pulled up. Could you pull up 107 AAA?
107 AAA. There it is.
I'm trying to remember why. Oh, this one's fascinating for me for a couple different reasons.
Let's get your hand off the mic so the people don't hear that.
So as you go through the course of the season, you get exposed to different wrestlers, right? I'm familiar with the number 1 seed, Caden Lindquist, because I saw plenty of him last year, but two guys that really caught me by surprise this year. Ethan Fan Manavong of Shakopee came out of nowhere to win the Christmas tournament.
Just started wrestling too, right?
Exactly.
Like not that long ago?
Yep, within 3 years, I would say something like that. And now he's in the hunt for a state title. And who's our number 2 seed? Could you scroll down for us there? Oh, Beckett Edstrom of Hastings. I saw him down at the Clash. He was down there from the Clash, and I was like, who is this kid? I think I saw him wrestle maybe Callie Graber and Gigi Bragg down there, and that's kind of why he caught my eye. It's because you know, when there's a girl on the mat, you're like, what's going on here? You pay a little closer attention. So Beckett Edstrom, the 8th grader, I think his first state tournament. Same with Ethan Fanaman Vong. That bottom side semi could be fireworks.
Got any more on here? We got a couple in the chat. 145 and 139. This is right up your alley. When I pulled up the 145, I started laughing. I'm like, oh, this is going to be Logan's bracket.
AAA?
Yeah.
Why has it got Davis Perro in there?
Yeah, and then I think it was Eden Prairie guy.
Oh, Charles Veneer.
There you go.
Yep. Veneer, state runner-up last year, and then Perro, state champion last year, but did he have to earn it. I'm curious who's beat Charles Veneer this year. Because I know the one loss for Perro was the Economawalk kid, right? That Woolert, or whatever his name.
Yep.
I think
at the Cheesehead?
He lost to him at the Cheesehead after he beat him at the Christmas tournament. The one loss this year. Oh! The one loss this year for Charles Veneer, it was Davis Perro in the semifinals of the Christmas tournament, 4-3. So there we go. Great suggestion.
That is definitely your bracket.
Who was that? Who suggested that?
And then 139 AAA. Got a couple people saying here. Hardest bracket. Gopher Recruit is a 4 seed. Gopher Coach's Son is a 3.
Yep.
5 seed is beat the 1 seed. Okay, that's a mess.
Yep.
So,
and Al and Josh, I'll say, if you guys want to hear some varsity level analysis on 139 AAA, Al and Josh talked about this one as well.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. There's a lot going on there.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Well, you got a Carlson in there. Apparently, Nick Strand is a 5 seed, but he beat Kevin Carlson twice in the last couple weeks. Zy Williams,
we need to redo the seating. This is BS. How dare they?
You mad?
Just livid.
You're every wrestling fan.
Oh,
you know where you should go? You know what will make it better?
I can't function right now. I'm so distraught.
You know what would make it better? If you go to the forum.
I should.
Yeah.
I bet it's filled with fun. All right. Anything else in AAA? Otherwise, let's jump over to AA.
Let me check my notes. I'm not giving you permission to go yet. Okay. Yep. You go ahead.
AA. And I'm going to have you kick this one off.
I only had 2 written down here for AA. We can start big or start small. You tell me.
Small.
Okay. 133 AA.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. This one, just a deep bracket, man. Last year was 127 AA. That was super deep. This year it's 133 AA. Logan Schwans was a number 1 seed last year. He's now a number 5 seed. Previous state place winner. You've seen Jacob Lubke wrestle, right?
Yep.
DGF.
Yep, DGF. He's only a junior.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And then Bennett Kuyava. We saw him when Becker came down here. Only 1 loss on the year. He's your number 1 seed. Jake Kaz, Simley, just a sophomore. 44 wins on the year. We got Aiden Fredericks in there out of Section 1, and then your number 2 seed is Jackson Ref Snyder of Totino Grace. I'm going to petition the State High School League. I'm not upset about the seeding. I'm upset that there's not 12 medals for this bracket. 12 medals.
You want everyone to get a medal? Now you're sound like the forum guys. Wow.
If I wanted everyone to get a medal, I would have said 16 medals.
Oh, that's funny.
133. The only other AA one I want to touch on is 285 AA. Because here we've got Chisago Lake's Logan Bender, who just an unbelievable talent, athletic heavyweight, going to be wrestling for the Gophers next year. And then we've got Sam Winkles, our guy from Austin, going to St. Cloud State next year, high state place winner in 2024. Looks like two guys just on an absolute mission, destined for the finals. But there's going to be some other talent in the way. Roy Rude from DGF, did you see him this year? Or
no.
Somebody told me he is just built like a bag of bricks.
Nope.
37-1 as your 5 seed. And then your 3 seed, Ian Larrabee of Hibbing, who we saw up at Minnetonka the first weekend of the year. He was wrestling Jack Carlson, and he's going to have a say in things. But 285 AA, sweet.
I really have not looked at much on these AA brackets. I was just going to go see how, like, Moore down at 114. Did you look at that? How's he looking?
I got corrected here by Luke O'Reilly. Logan Bender's going to Northern Illinois, Luke O'Reilly thinks. Sorry for the interruption. So Logan Bender's not going to Minnesota. Thank you for the correction.
Good. All right. Yeah, Moore is 2 seed. Okay, I was just curious.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, Moore is a 2 seed.
Single A.
Interesting bracket at 114 there. It's kind of like, who's going to grab this one?
It's okay. Not to add fuel to the fire. It's hard to seed tournaments like this, especially when they're little and they don't have, or I shouldn't say little. You're young and they don't have a lot of seeding criteria from the previous year. So
we got you to talk seeding.
No, let's just not forget it used to be predetermined.
Right. And now it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect.
Well, what's wrong with it? If it's not perfect,
okay.
What's wrong with it?
Single A. Here we go. So, all right, what do you got in single A?
Well, we got to start at 121, right? We have to. We don't have a choice. 3 state champs in a bracket. We got to talk about that one first. Miklo Hernandez, returning state champion. He beat Javier Berg in the finals last year. Javier Berg was a state champ 2 years ago, 2-time finalist. Is your 3 seed, Kyle? Your number 2 seed must be luck, right? He just got lucky and got the 2 seed? No, he was a state champ last year. So 3 state champs there at 121 in Class A. Miklo Hernandez had a tight victory over Bierger early in the year, which is kind of why he gets the number 1 seed there. But even beyond those top 3, you got Ryan LeCan, who was a state place winner last year. Isaac Rodriguez was a state place winner last year. Eli Greenman's a 2-time state place winner. So it's like, buckle up. 12 medals.
Everybody gets a medal.
Everybody gets a medal.
All right, we did have a chat here for 215 single A. So Curdy and who do you say? Williams in the second round. Yeah, so Jacob Williams from Aiken at 38-0 could potentially see Caleb Curdy from Goodhue 40-2 in the quarterfinals. So, and opposite of the bracket there is Carson Gilbert from BBE. So that is who beat Curdy last year, I think, for the 3rd, 4th match. So some history there. So Eli, this kid, I don't know how you say that.
Royko. Just a sophomore.
Yeah. He was obviously he was a freshman last year, but did not look like a freshman. I think he was at 189 last year, but he's solid. Very solid.
And he's on your squad.
He's on my squad. This could be tough. I might have 2 of my guys, a Goodhue guy and a UNC guy. So I'm going to lean Goodhue, though.
So Eli Rocco is back at state as a sophomore at 215. As a freshman at 189, he placed 6th at state. And as an 8th grader, he was a state entrant at 170. Just for let's put this in perspective.
You know how much I weighed as an 8th grader?
Tell us how much you weighed, and then also tell us how many matches you won.
0. on varsity and like very few on JV, and I was 112 pounds. Yeah.
That is hilarious. When I was in 8th grade, I was also 112.
You know, in 7th grade, I was 93, like 95. Yeah. Crazy. I can't even imagine being that big as a 7th or 8th grader. You just have to tower over everybody.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay. Anything else on the single A side?
Yeah, I got to tell you about when I was an 8th grader. I was also 112. I went 7-10 on varsity. I had 5 forfeits for wins.
Ended your career with 7. So.
And that was my career total. All right. Other Class A brackets that you want to touch on here or that got suggested?
I don't think we had any more Class A suggested. Just that 121 and 215.
I kind of liked all these. I'm just going to pick one more here kind of randomly. I liked all these up here at like 160 and 172. Al and Josh talked a bit about 160, so I guess I'll just go to 172, which in my mind, wide open. This is a bracket for you here, Kyle. 100%. We've got Kane Larson at the 4 seed, Ben Carrier at the 5 seed. We've got Luke Bennick as the number 1 seed from Holdingford, your school. And then from what I've heard, Jet Olson here of Kirkman Murdoch Sundberg's put together a great senior year. He's your 3 seed. Your 2 seed is Cameron Halverson of Barnesville. So I think 172 is wide open. That is a Kyle bracket. A Kyle bracket right there.
I got one more I guess we probably do need to touch on because I believe...
We're going to do this for 20 minutes.
No, this is my last one.
Yeah.
So heavyweight, Class A, Keegan Kubel is going for his 3rd?
You are transitioning perfectly into my trivia question.
Okay.
Let's...
Stop talking is what you're saying? Is that... Stop talking.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask the trivia question? We'll go with your point and then we'll let people answer. So there are 2 wrestlers. This is boys and girls. 2 wrestlers this year looking for state title number 4. Who are those 2 wrestlers? And then there's like 6 more wrestlers who are looking for title number 3. You're welcome to name the title number 3, but we're really looking for 2 wrestlers who want title number 4 this year. Now go ahead with your point on Kubal.
No, I don't have one other than he's going for his 3rd. So it'll be, see if he gets it. It's always hard, you know, and I believe Mugg and him met in the finals last year, correct? From Royalton, Brandon Mugg.
I think Mugg got 6th, but there was another Mugg who had came through. No, I think it was that Will Rust. Was it Will Rustan, West Central area, Ashby, Brandon's at Evansville?
I don't know. I was thinking it was Mugg. It might not be Mugg. I'll go to T Stuff. The gift that keeps on giving. T Stuff. I love T Stuff.
The snack that smiles back.
So, anywho, yeah, I'd like to see that. I think he's a dairy farmer too.
I think there
was a article on the Dairy Star last year after he had won it, so it was kind of cool.
Keegan Kubal.
Did you just realize like 99% of wrestlers don't know what a dairy farm is and probably don't have a clue what the Dairy Star is?
Probably.
So,
but you stuck that reference in there.
Yeah, for all you non-dairy people. So, all right.
Oh, fantastic. Here's our trivia winners. Of course, Luke O'Reilly gets in there first. Landon Robidau. Landon
right.
R.
Schulten,
from STMA,
who he lost or he beat in the finals,
is looking for title number 4, and Charlie Raymond is looking for number 4 as well. Who is JF?
LR.
I don't know who JF is. So Charlie Raymond, Landon Robidoux looking for title number 4, looking for number 3. This is who I have, and I could be missing some names, but Titan Frederick is looking for number 3. Keegan Kubal, Trey Gunderson, just a junior, looking for number 3. Zach Raymer, senior, looking for number 3. And then on the girls' side, Sarah Polka, Badger, Greenbush, Middle River, and Cassie Gonzalez.
Joel Frederick was JF.
Oh, Titan. Titan would. I actually don't know if Joel has a state title yet. No,
I was actually going to say, I don't know how many more are going for 3. Is there like 1 or 2? I'm sure there's somebody. And then what you just rattled off 6, and then there's 2 going for 4. So, all right.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That went pretty quick tonight.
We'll see everybody at the XL Energy Center.
Yeah, we will. And like I said, though, go check out Al and Josh because they have a full 2 hour and 15 minutes. So if you get through this quick, you're sick of us, go listen to Al and Josh. And email us your address if you were one of the millions of names. Actually, if anyone emails us their address.
Probably just going to start tricking us. Hey, I was this. Oh, okay.
We'll probably
we didn't write it down.
We'll send you something. Just jvtakes1@gmail.com.
So, yeah, it'll be another exciting state tournament. Kicks off on Thursday. Teams, good luck to all the teams, individuals. Obviously, good lucker to the Section 1 people. I just made up a word.
Yeah, Section 1 versus the world.
This is where the Section 1 comes out, and we all unite now under one banner.
This is our time. This is our time.
Unless you're one of my teams. So
UNC,
we'll bring you under the Section 1 banner too.
Hastings, you're one of us.
Yep.
Farmington, you're one of us.
Anoka.
Hey,
I'm not going to look it up, but I was going to look something up. Okay, sounds good.
All right, peace out. I guess that's it.